Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new graduate student FAQ presentation. My name is Anthony, and I work for the Adelante program as an outreach ambassador, and I just graduated this May with a master's in business administration.
Hello, everyone. I'm Audie, and I'm also an outreach ambassador for Adelante, and I am a second year in the Communication Sciences and Disorders graduate program.
Hi, I am Leti Mejia, and I am also an Adelante ambassador, and I am in the social work master's program.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dina. I'm also an Adelante ambassador, and I actually currently just graduated with my master's in social work.
Everybody, my name is John. I am a second year here at Chico State as a grad student in the biology department.
Thank you all for your introductions, and we can get started into our first question. So a commonly asked question that the Office of Graduate Studies get is, are there any opportunities to connect with graduate studies staff and other graduate students? And I'll pass this along to anyone who wants to answer.
Yeah, my program offers a grant program where us students who are pursuing speech language pathology, we have the opportunity to collaborate with the adapted physical education graduate students. And through this, we're able to take collaboration courses together. We actually had the opportunity to work with children who attend the autism clinic on campus, and we've been able to attend conferences and collaborate with other universities as well who share the same discipline.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Would anybody else like to share? I can quickly chime in. We do have the Office of Graduate Studies, of course, and at the end of this presentation, we'll be providing you with some of the main resources that we recommend checking out. But yeah, the Office of Graduate Studies is a really great resource if you have any questions regarding graduate students, graduate life on campus, any program questions you may have. You can just visit their website, the Office of Graduate Studies. And there's also a club called the Council of Graduate Students, which is essentially a council of graduate students that they represent the interests of all grad students. And they also do hangouts every month. They'll provide like support and resources for graduate students as well. All right, we can move on to the next question. The next question is, are graduate students eligible for any scholarships, grants, assistantships, or any type of financial aid, period? Yeah, would anybody else like to take that on?
I can speak about that. It's really important to fill out your FAFSA because you really don't know what you qualify for unless you submit your FAFSA application. Like I didn't know that there was the Chico student grant, and I qualified for that, and that was super helpful for my education, as well as the Wildcat scholarships. Those I believe they open at the beginning of the year, and I was recently awarded a $500 scholarship, which is dispersed between the fall and spring semester, and that is just extra additional income that I didn't have, and I'm just really grateful for that opportunity. I feel like when it comes down to scholarships and financial aid, the best thing to do is just to apply, because you never know what opportunities are out there for you unless you do that. So yeah, I wanted to share that.
Yeah, and a lot of different programs and departments also have their own, like kind of like how you're saying, like their own scholarships. And a lot of the time they go unclaimed, or just even scholarships around campus. A lot, we have a big like list of them. And like how you were just saying that like all you have to do is apply a lot of the time. And sometimes the applications are super simple. But because yeah, I was talking with another staff member that so many scholarships at CSU Chico go unclaimed every single year. So just applying, like that's all we have to do, because there's so much available, so much money available for us.
Yeah, I would also like to add, not just that, but you can find on-campus jobs that you can find here on campus. And those jobs can help you pay for the little things. Again, grant stuff, there are grants made just for graduate students as well. People who are need a little bit of assistantship in their financial aid can apply for grants that will help them out. If everything plays out right with me and my financial aid, I should come out with my master's with zero money in debt. So if everything plays out right, so there's a lot of grants, a lot of scholarships for anybody who wants to apply. I got denied a lot of times from these some of these scholarships, but I applied to a lot of them and I got a lot of them. So the more you apply, the more you get.
Yeah. Thank you all for sharing that. We recommend that you contact the Office of Graduate Studies as well as the Financial Aid Office for any more questions or inquiries you may have regarding to your specific circumstances. But yeah, thank you all so much for sharing your experiences. And the next question is, what campus resources should graduate students utilize while at Chico State? And I'll quickly chime in. I definitely have benefited from using the Career Center at Chico State. This service is both for undergraduate and graduate students, but especially as a graduate student who has recently graduated, I've definitely been utilizing their service for resume and cover letter advice, as well as for interview prep. And they really do connect you with the best resources on campus. So that is one plug I did want to quickly state. But yeah, do any of you have any campus resources that you recommend that graduate students should definitely utilize while they're here at Chico State?
For me, it has been the library, because I do so much research. Being able to have access to the library online and in person, it has been very, very imperative into my educational journey. For example, there was a book that I needed and I just checked it out. I was able to check it out online, and like the next day it was already ready for me. So being able to use those resources for access to different articles and research that I need for my different projects and classes is very, very important to me. So I'm really grateful that the library online is very easy to navigate, and there's a fountain of resources when it comes down to finding research. So thanks.
For me, in the biology department, the resources that we have is if I was going to attend a conference, which I did, it cost me up to $4,000 to attend, and it was in DC. It was a great way for me to network, but they also reimbursed me for all that. So I went to a conference, and so that the biology department will have resources for you if you are going to attend conferences or attend other workshops, and they can reimburse you for all the things that you do to further your network.
Yeah, the Writing Center on campus is also a great resource, especially for those who have to do a lot of report writing and clinical writing, where you have to be very objective and use a specific type of language. So it's always nice to get a second opinion on that.
Yeah, all right, thank you all. Next question is, how would you compare undergraduate education from graduate school?
I would say it's less busy work, less of the small little assignments, and more of the in-depth information. For me, my professors have been very supportive of my education. And I feel like they work with you as far as assignments go, and figuring out basically deadlines. They all work together. And because in my undergraduate program, I had things that were due from different professors on the same weekend. And I feel like here in grad school, I'm able to, like, we don't have things due at the same time. Every class is a little bit different, and I like that.
Also, I think another like difference is like how undergraduate, you're kind of mixed in classes with a bunch of like different people, and sometimes these people are in your major, sometimes they're not, even when you're not like in GE classes, or with other level grades. And coming into graduate school, I think especially depending on your program, you enter as like a cohort with like people who, like, these are the people who you entered with, and these are the people who you're going to graduate like with, especially if your program is like, if this is a 2-year program or this is a 3-year program, like it's not like at your own kind of pace thing, then you're definitely with those people and you're going to see them constantly. So I feel like you're able to build better like relationships with the, with your classmates and stuff like that. Because in my undergraduate, like I knew certain people and I'd sometimes have class with them. But in graduate school, it's like I have the exact same people in almost all of my classes. And I have like a relationship with almost everybody in my cohort. So now I have connections now graduating, going out into the real world, into the working field. Like I know that I can count on a lot of people because I met so many more people. And the relationships that you build with your professors, I feel like are also more connected in graduate school than what it was in undergraduate school.
Yeah, I agree with that. Having that cohort and building rapport within your cohort is a great support system. And I would say entering graduate school, you're kind of expected to have that basic knowledge or understanding of course content and being able to actually apply it. So it's more hands-on. And some students are balancing more than just the coursework itself, but also having hours at the on-campus clinic and working with clients or working outside of campus too.
Yeah, as an undergrad, you have oftentimes 9 to 3 o'clock class back to back. You have like 5, 7 classes and then it's a lot per semester. In graduate school, you have 1 or 2 classes for me, and the rest of the time you'll still be here 8 to 5 every single day because they're not holding your hand. It's you doing your work. It's you and you working with your professor or whatever. You're kind of alone and they don't hold your hand anymore in this process, but it's really for you to grow as an individual, to make yourself, and again, better as a student. So graduate school is a little different.
Yeah, thank you all for sharing. I completely agree with all of you, but I would also say that it's been really great being a graduate student, because I feel like you get more personalized support from your professors and your colleagues in the program, but also from your graduate program coordinators and your advisors. I really built a really great relationship with them, that helped me guide graduate school. And thank you all for sharing your experience. And our last question is, do you have any advice for new graduate students? Maybe some advice you wish you knew when you first started off in graduate school?
I would advise to ask questions. People are here to help you. There's a lot of resources out there, and initiating that first email or phone call or just reaching out to your professors as you navigate grad school, or even your department coordinator, all of that is super helpful. Just staying connected and staying in touch is the best advice I can give.
Thank you. Some advice that I wish I would have actually done is that I wish I would have gotten more involved and active in my program. So I was in the Master's of Business Administration program, and the graduate program. It's relatively large. There's a good amount of students in that program, and I just wasn't involved with any of the events or attend any of like the speaker series. Mainly because when I started my program, my first 3 semesters were all online because of COVID. And my last semester, it was actually a hybrid, in person and online. And my last semester, I actually got to meet quite a bit of people and got to really connect with them as well as my professor. So I wish I would have made more of an effort to be involved with my other colleagues in the program.
For me, it would be, I never felt so tired yet so happy. I come into work, I love the things I do, I'm researching, I love it. And on my free time, I'm still exploring and having fun, new hobbies I like. So the advice would be have fun while you're here. You're only here for a couple years and then you're out into the job force. So have fun. You should like what you're doing. You should work hard, apply for a scholarship, apply for all those things so you can do your expensive hobbies. And so it should be fun. The process should be fun, very tiring, but yet very fun.
Kind of piggybacking on what John just said, have fun and set those boundaries with yourself with like grad school and everything else. I know a few of me and my classmates would talk about how on the weekends we'd really try to work on homework, but our brains were so fried and we'd kind of just sit in front of the computer all day and ended up doing nothing anyways. So it's like, might as well just take one of those days off and be like, this day is for me and for me to do something that I like, that's going to like help me like ground myself, like some sort of like self-care, even if it's like for a few hours, because it's better that you use that time to do something for yourself than just sitting in front of the computer all day and doing nothing for yourself, and not even getting anything done. So like, setting just like those boundaries and then being like, okay, like I am going to take this time to go have fun this day. And kind of also, one of the things I would have done, just time management's always been a problem for me. So obviously like for me, graduate school is as hard as you make it. Like as long as you can keep yourself like organized and manage your time correctly, and again set those like boundaries, like you can do it, like you can do anything and utilize like resources on campus, like like the health center and stuff like that, or in the counseling center and stuff like that, because mental health is also very important. And for a few of us, we did start this program while the pandemic was in full swing, and it was very hard to make the connections with people and everything. So just
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's important to note that grades and test scores don't define you as a student, your success as a student, or your success in your future career path. And that's really important to build those relationships and support one another and seek out help and those resources when needed and take care of yourself always.
All right. Thank you all very much for participating in this panel. And for the students, we did want to leave you off with some of these resources. There's many more that Chico State does offer, but these are just some of the resources that we did mention in this presentation. Also, a tip, I recommend that you follow these resources on social media as well, just to stay up to date. So I don't have all the social media handles listed on here, but you can definitely find them on the website. There's constant programming and events going on, and like free giveaways and networking opportunities. So we really recommend that you check that out. And yeah, thank you for attending this FAQ presentation, and welcome to Chico State, and congratulations on being admitted to grad school. Bye.